I thought that the way to make people like me was to prove my worth. Since childhood, I lacked friends and I wanted people to really like me and to people want to be with me. So I thought that if I show them what I'm capable of, if I will achieve something in life and I show my accomplishments, they will finally choose me. And I genuinely believe that. But here's what happened. The more I tried to become better and more accomplishments I had and I shared it with people to make me worthy of their time, the less they wanted to be near me. So I realized that I had to change something and I had to stop blaming other people. So today I want to share with you how changing this one thing can transform your relationships and why being vulnerable is key in everything in your life. Today we will cover this diagram, which is about emotional contagion and being vulnerable. But before we move on this topic, so all our life we hear that communication is key to our relationships and everything in our everyday lives. Guess what? Communications are shaped by emotions and they help us connect. So, the more emotional part is involved in the conversation, more impact it will have on you. For example, all parents want their best for their children, but do you know why parents fail to connect with them? Because they never ask their children how they feel. Since childhood, I heard this sentence: "Put yourself in someone else's shoes." And let's be honest, it is impossible. I can never put myself in your shoes because I don't know about your life, what you went through, what problems you had to deal with. I have no idea. So I can't put myself in your shoes. But what I can do is to ask you questions to understand your life. We people make assumptions that we understand others. So sometimes we offer them our support and help in things where we believe that they need us, or we give them our lessons when no one asked us, but we thought that it was useful for them. So the first thing in order to improve your relationships is to start with asking questions and not assumptions. Why are these questions important? Because we humans become emotionally contagious when we share something meaningful to us, when we share our raw emotions, raw experiences, our values, beliefs, something based on past experiences, which means a lot to us. And being emotionally contagious leads to connection. See, the problem in my life was that I always thought that in order to connect with people, I had to show them how worthy I was, that I was capable of things, I had done some accomplishments. No, in order to connect with people, you have to meet them on their emotional level. But you can't do that if you don't know their past, their experiences, their beliefs, their hopes, their fears. Why are these things important? Because even the act of exposing ourselves to someone is an act of intimacy. When you share your deepest vulnerabilities to someone else, your deepest wounds, your beliefs, something which is very important to you, you expose yourself. And when they match your emotional level, that's where the bond happens. That's where the connection happens, and that's the best, and that's the best communication level you can achieve. If you want people to understand you, first you have to make an effort to understand them. But do not make assumptions. Ask questions. Get interested in them. And when you ask them questions, you never know what a person might share with you. They might share the same things that's happening in your life. And then that gives you room to uh, to to accept that invitation, to say that, hey, that's the same thing going on in my life. That's how I'm dealing it with. That's how I'm solving. Or say that that's the same problem with me. Let's do something about it together, right? Right. But here's the key part. When someone gets vulnerable with you and shares meaningful information with you, you have to show your empathy. Do not leave a person halfway through and say, yes, yes, exactly, that's what's happening in my life, and continue with your story. This means that you don't care about their story. That's a big mistake. And using this strategy, you can go back and really think, those people who you thought you were in love and they were the only one and the most different, amazing. Are they really that amazing and different? Or they made you vulnerable because they shared the moments that was very meaningful to you, or they asked you about your beliefs, fears, hopes, something which no one else did before. No one is that perfect and amazing and not irreplaceable. Some people just know how to connect with you, how to talk to you, how to make you vulnerable. And that's what makes them different from all the rest. And you don't want to live in a solitude, and you don't want to live as if no one understands you, right? So think about this way. The next time you meet someone you want to connect with and have friends, start asking them questions. Be genuinely interested in them. You can start with shallow questions, but always try to make an emotional connection. Ask them something about their beliefs, about their past experiences, something that's very important to them, meaningful. But of course, if you don't know that person, you have to find out what's important and what's not. The act of exposing ourselves to someone might seem risky, but that's the only way we create intimacy. And that's the key thing that unlocks everything. And if you feel like communication is something you have mastered, but still people do not choose you, boys reject you, then this video is exactly for you.